Hello and welcome to Boomer Live. We are back to be talking about cricket, as I mentioned yesterday that we will be back. So we are back to talk about cricket, and there's a lot of cricket happening across the world. There's close to six T20 leagues which are now ongoing, and of course international matches. Pakistan versus New Zealand was a series which just got over yesterday, and India versus Sri Lanka. There's one more match to be played. That's a third ODI. India have already sealed the series after getting their 2-0 lead. Now for India, they've also announced the Border Gavaskar Trophy squad, so we'll be analyzing on that as well as we get along in the live. Some controversial picks, some unfortunate miss outs. We will talk about all of them as we move ahead. Sandeepani, how are you feeling, and are you being able to follow all these leagues because there's a lot of cricket happening across the world?
Yeah, very interesting stuff happening with the South Africa T20 League as we spoke about it in detail in the last one, and also there is the International League T20. I'm a bit surprised that there isn't so much hype about the IL T20 part, but it's good to see that these small nations are not small nations in terms of cricketing aspect. I mean, UAE has grown, so it's good to see them having a league of their own, T20 league of their own, and especially South Africa. They have experimented with lots of things. There was Ram Slam and separate T20 league as well. Finally, they have come up with a particular structure in the form of South Africa T20 league. And also there is the BBL, which is running its, I think, 13th or 14th edition, which was a huge hit last time around as well. This time, once again, with so many T20 leagues, people are finding it very difficult to focus on everything separately. But then again, exciting cricket all around. I mean, we have had some great games in BBL as well. One might argue about the quality of players, and then certain players leaving Australia to join their respective sides in the IL T20 League or the South Africa T20 League. We have had players doing that. And
Yeah.
also the on the international front, there is India facing Sri Lanka. Kohli scoring his 45th ODI century. With so much to talk about when it
Yeah.
comes to cricket, the Border Gavaskar Trophy. So excited, very excited.
Of course, yeah, we will talk about it. So let's get going with the India versus Sri Lanka series because this is the road to 2023 World Cup, which is underway now. How do you see it being? Because now we already seen India having a clear roadmap, and with 11, we already know what is the pattern to be followed. Uh, from whatever reports we are getting, it is going to be KL Rahul who's going to keep the wickets for the World Cup. So that particular debate is almost settled by KL Rahul as well. I mean, there is no doubting his ability as a number five batter in one day internationals. We did talk about it. Let's not mix and match formats. We only had issues with him in T20 internationals, opening the bat and not showing intent. But for India at number five, I remember from 2020, it was when he started really batting in that position. Actually, from 2020, when India played Australia in January in 2023 years ago, Rishabh Pant got injured in a match where he was slotted at number five. Since then, he's never really looked back. He scored plenty of runs from positions where India were in trouble. And last match, once again, India were in a spot of trouble. He has taken them home. A match before that, he came in, he played a vital 30 odd knock without consuming a lot of balls. He really understands his game pretty well coming in at number five, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that is the role that actually suits him because and also if you remember that once Dhawan got injured for the World Cup, I mean in the World Cup 2019 World Cup, KL Rahul was slotted to open. Otherwise, if you even look at the World Cup, KL Rahul was coming in at number four, number five because he was not finding a position in that team opening the innings. So I mean, it's a role that he cherishes batting in at number five. And more often than not, if India has a decent enough start, he comes into bat in the 25th to 30th over, sort of in between that timeline. So he has approximately 20 overs to play, and I think that is the
Hmm.
situation that he enjoys the most. Even if you ask KL Rahul right now, even given if given an opportunity where he would love to play in T20s, he would say to open the innings because he hasn't have been having results in the T20I format for India, but he has been very successful in IPLs, opening the innings for his respective franchises, be it Punjab Kings, be it Lucknow Super Giants. And even in the ODIs, where he gets that 20, 25 overs to play, to bat, I think that is where he actually relishes his opportunity. And definitely some character he showed in the last game, playing that night. I think it was his slowest ODI half century, that 93 balls, 64 run knock that he played, unbeaten
Yeah.
knock that guided India to a tricky chase. I mean, At the halfway stage, anybody would have said that India would probably finish the game within the 35th or the 36th over, but
Yeah.
they lost a couple of wickets early on. Rohit Sharma, Kohli, and Shubman Gill did not get going, and also Shreyas Iyer had a rare off day. So yeah, I mean, whenever the team has been needing him in the ODI format, he has been stepping up. So no issues
Absolutely.
with the not just the number five position, but also with the wicket keeping slot, because I think he has been doing a decent enough job behind the stumps as well. Obviously, one would still argue that Ishan Kishan can be a fit in this ODI team, and I
Yeah.
think Shubman Gill and Ishan Kishan are going to fight it off for the opening slot. It will be very unfair on Ishan Kishan's part to not get a ODI game right after scoring that double century, but such is the competition in this Indian team, and I think Ishan Kishan will get his due opportunities in the recent future, leading up to the World Cup.
That's a very, very interesting thing which you mentioned because Ishan Kishan, you know what you get with him, right? He's a kind of player who can take the match away from you in comparison to Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill is more conventional. He'll give you a lot of solidity, but he cannot be your X factor player on a given day. I remember way back when we spoke about Ishan Kishan and Rishabh Pant bursting into the scene in 2016. Things were very clear. These are the two players who will really handle the mantle for India for a long time, and that's the way it's going now. Unfortunately for Rishabh Pant, he's faced an accident which nobody saw it coming. So I really wish him really quick recovery, and I really want him to also see the spot in the 11 because I have a feeling that Rishabh Pant in the white ball format is not a bad opening option in the long run because I see a lot of people saying that KL Rahul has sealed the spot. Rishabh Pant hasn't really done well, but Rishabh Pant's best of times, even for Delhi Capitals, when he really burst into the scene, or even in the Under 19 World Cup, he was opening the batting. And I really see him doing that job much better for Team India. Now, coming to that question again, Ishan Kishan, uh, just on the basis that he's an X factor player, can Rohit Sharma's team really, or Rohit Sharma and team management really consider that? Because you know that if Ishan Kishan gets going, if Ishan Kishan bats 30 overs, you might get to post more than 400 runs or 350 odd runs on that given day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a thing that they can ponder on because Shubman Gill got two matches in the series. I won't mind if Ishan Kishan gets the last game. And I think India right now, with them having already secured their World Cup slot. I mean, from after the 2023 onwards, India will have to fight in ODIs as well. The bilateral series are going to get more important with the Super League system coming in. But till then, I think the bilaterals does not actually hold any sort of importance for this Indian side. They can actually go on experimenting, something that they did not do much in the lead up to the T20I World Cup. I mean, they did their experimentation and then they were back with their old combination. So that is not going to help if they are going to do the same thing in the lead up to the ODI World Cup as well. So I think this is the time. The bilateral series is the opportunity where they can try out different players. Ishan Kishan is a very good sort of opener, and he has showed it with that double century against Bangladesh. So I think them having won this series, they should definitely try him tomorrow. And going forward, I think the outcome of a bilateral series should not be that important for the Indian side, especially in the ODI format. They can experiment. Even if they have gone with Shubman Gill for one game, they can try Ishan Kishan in the second game. Having won it, I mean, the series decisive factor should not be a cause of concern for this Indian team. I mean, they have
Yeah.
already won the series, so they might as well go and
What do you have to
experiment.
answer for Kapil? Because Kapil has put up an interesting question on how players who are jaded and frustrated are still being given the chance. What is your take on that? Because what I feel is there are certain controversial selections, but not in entirety, at least in this squad. We will talk about the other squads which have been announced for the New Zealand series and BGT. But before that, how do you see that? For the one day format, it's very important now to zero in on the 20 players, as it was discussed in the BCI review meeting earlier on at the start of the January that they want to zero in on 20 players and they would want to go into that World Cup by looking at these 20 players and giving them the rotational chances time and time again. Now it looks the picture is very clear because you have your set of bowlers, fast bowlers, which include Shami, Siraj, Umran Malik, Bumrah when he returns, of course. Who else? Maybe these are the three set of fast bowlers who I see getting an opportunity in the long run. And Arshdeep Singh is also part of that. So five fast bowlers who I really see making out of the 20. Now to be
Yeah.
talking about the
And
spinners,
I
it's
think
of
I was
course
a bit surprised with the exclusion of Prasidh Krishna from the mix because
he's
whatever
injured. He's
opportunity.
injured. He's injured. He's
Yeah,
injured, so
I
that's the
mean,
issue.
exclusion from that 20 list. I think he'll definitely make a comeback once he's fit. Uh, and I think the IPL will be a huge deciding factor in what sort of players India would look to try on. If a player like Prashid Krishna has a great season in the IPL, I think he'll definitely be in contention for that ODI spot as well, because he was a member of the team. He was a part of that of this Indian unit before getting injured. So I think
Yeah.
if he has a great comeback, I think you can even consider likes of
No, that's an interesting point which you made, because for Prasidh Krishna as well, it's about him now proving his match fitness, having a good IPL, then all of a sudden he can also be in contention. But also having said that, now you found an Umran Malik who's a very good middle overs wicket taker. Now you have Mohammad Suraj who's been very, very valuable for Team India in the power plays. Now you found two bowlers who can do these jobs. Now the third bowler, Bumrah, who's maybe yet to make the list. Bumrah will come back for sure, and Bumrah walks into this lineup 100%. He can bowl in the death and in the power play if need be. So three fast bowlers for the World Cup starting 11. Are these your three fast bowlers?
Yeah, for the time
Bumrah,
being,
Umran,
it is, I
and
think. But with
Shivam?
Mohammad Siraj, I think I'm still a bit skeptical with Mohammad Siraj in this ODI side. I mean, he has had performances, terrific
I don't
performances.
understand why is that, because he's picked up the most wickets for you in the last 1 year. He's picked up the most number of power play wickets for you. He's balled. He's got the best economy rates in the rate in that. He's made your number one day baller. So how do you not have him in the side?
No, I mean, with Mohammad Shami also getting a game and also performing, providing results for the Indian team. I think with I'm happy with Bumrah. I'm happy with Umran Malik in that middle order. But Mohammad Siraj, I think so far with the form that he is in, he will definitely make it to the playing 11. But he'll have to continue with this sort of form, because with Siraj, the problem is I have seen both the sides of Siraj, and at one point I was not even sure that he was going to be a starting player for that RCB unit, because he was completely out of form, and you never wish anything like that for any sort of a player. He has been running in a brilliant in a purple patch of form in the past year or so, but the consistency is an issue, and I think if
So
he
there's
is able to.
that's the point, right? Now, Mohammad Siraj has possibly reinvented himself, one can say so, or maybe he has rediscovered
Yeah, I
himself
mean
in
it's
this
good for
format.
him, but I still feel with the competition and the sort of bowlers that are there, be it Mohammad Shami, be it Prasidh Krishna or Arshdeep Singh, I think these players when they come back, or when Arshdeep Singh gets a go, I think the only place, I mean, Bumrah is a sure shot. If he's fit, Bumrah is a sure player in your playing 11. Umran Malik is your X factor player who picks up wickets in that middle order period, which India needs, especially because the spinners haven't come to the party. I mean, Kuldeep Yadav was exceptional last time around. We were very vocal about why Kuldeep Yadav was not getting a game, be it any format. Kuldeep Yadav getting underplayed because of Chahal. But India needs a player who needs to support either Chahal or Kuldeep Yadav, whichever spinner gets to play. You need a player that actually provides that support in that middle order. So Umran Malik is also a sort of more or less a sure shot pick. So the only place where all the players are fighting for, be it Arshdeep Singh or Mohammad Shami, is that Mohammad Siraj spot, because that is the place where, like, he's a type of a bowler, a power play bowler who can come in and bowl 2-3 overs in the death overs. I mean, Arshdeep Singh does the same job. Mohammad Shami more or
I
less
mean,
does the same.
with Arshdeep Singh, I still think as a long format bowler, at least he's got a long way to improve. We still haven't seen him play a lot of ODIs, but with Mohammad Siraj, he looks like a bowler who's probably in his prime now. He's hit his prime in terms of his bowling ability to pick up wickets consistently in power play, which we lacked. You remember we were discussing this a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, how India were struggling to pick up wickets in the power play, and how India were falling short of that. I remember there was a stat: India's bowling average was close to 85 in the power play after
Power
2019
plays,
World Cup, and that was a very shocking stat back then. And I thought there was no way up ahead. Maybe we had to bring in Deepak Chahar or Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, but then Mohammad Siraj has really nullified that. He's been able to come in and pick up wickets consistently, time and time again, ball in with a lot of venom, pick up wickets, moving the ball, seaming the ball rather. I remember Mohammad Siraj bowling in some of the dead pitches and able to get the ball to move. So these are some, and Mohammad Siraj's death bowling, especially the Yorkers, have been
yeah,
landing
no
perfectly
doubt.
in the
I mean,
death.
he has improved in strides, and I think that goes to show in the fact that he was picked for the T20I side as well. Mohammad Siraj played in that bilateral series against South Africa in the T20I side as well. So Mohammad Siraj will get an ample of opportunities, and I think he'll definitely be in front running for that World Cup. But given if India are to pick another bowler, a bowler who sort of can come in the power plays and do a good job, and Mohammad Siraj is not consistent with his form, I think that's the only spot that is under threat when it comes to fast bowling department in ODIs.
I mean, as he's in form right now, I think they should give him a long run. So that's one thing which even Kapil used
Yeah,
to say
having
in
said
all
that,
of
yeah,
our life.
I mean,
As
if he does not have go on to have a terrible IPL and does not sort of deteriorate in his performances in the future, in the recent future, I don't see him getting dropped. Also, the fact that Bumrah isn't 100% fit, I don't know. I mean, he was supposed to return, and then it got delayed. With
I mean, I'm
Bumrah's
okay with
fitness,
that, that rushing him as long as there is no bad decisions made in terms of his injury and in terms of him. You're trying to not make him rush. It's all fine
yeah,
for me because you don't want to risk him for the
definitely
World
all
Cup.
fine for me, but also I mean the criticism that a lot of people are sort of implying on players like Bumrah and yeah, Jofra Archer is the fact that they just come in and they give the 100% for the T20I or the
Let's not
IPL.
forget, Jofra Archer was out for 3 years, man. Jofra Archer was out
Definitely.
for 3 years. So you can imagine how tough it is to come back and rehab and then go back
Whereas
again. So
Sahim Shah Afridi has had a miraculous recovery. I mean,
we
somebody
do
coming
not
back
know
after.
about it yet. We do not know about it yet. But as Pakistan are losing, they tend to, you know, tend to risk their play slightly. So I really hope it's not the case with Shahid Shah Afridi. They still have a lot of time because results haven't been going their way. Because we understand that results haven't really gone their way. If you look at the way in which they have really played in the recent past, or they've lost that one day series to New Zealand as well. So we will talk about that. How do you see this? Other than that, when it comes to Bumrah, do you still see him to be a mainstay bowler when it comes to all formats now going ahead, considering his injury being a major factor in his career?
As long as he's able to come back and provide the performances or provide the results that he has been providing for Team India in the past, I think he is your go-to bowler in all the formats. He has been your go-to bowler in all the formats in till very recent. I mean, once he got injured, I mean, he was out of office, but India have relied on him dearly, and he has provided results in the death overs for them. So I think it's a no-brainer. Once Bumrah is back, I think he'll definitely be a sure shot in your starting 11, and he'll be your go-to bowler. I mean, Rohit
Yeah.
Sharma has a lot of confidence in him, and there is no reason why you should bet against Bumrah. He's a world-class bowler, knows how to nail those Yorkers. Having said that, I think the competition for the fast bowlers is still wide open. I mean, with Umran Malik as well. I mean, he's an X factor player. He gives you those wickets in those middle overs. But once again, with this, I mean, there is also a risk of Umran Malik having a day where he goes for 70, 80 runs in his 10 overs without picking up a wicket, because with the pace that he bowls, if the batsman can somehow counter that pace and sort of use that pace to their advantage, which we have seen in the past, batsmen tend to do. Umran Malik is not the most consistent when it comes to line and length. It's still a long way to go. I think he'll definitely learn. But very bright prospects for India when it comes to fast bowling unit. But they'll have to choose wisely, and it's tricky to choose a player. I mean, going by the current lineup that they have, one might say that they should stick to Mohammad Siraj, uh, Umran Malik, and Jasprit Bumrah till the World Cup. But there are quality players like Arshdeep Singh, Mohammad Shami, Prasidh Krishna when he is fit, waiting in the ranks to sort of replace him,
But
or
I
probably even
really
a.
think there has been no other bowler. I mean, you took these names, right? But there have been no other bowler who's been able to give us those middle overs wickets like what Umran has been able to give. Umran
And
has played what,
exactly
two
why India
seasons
has
for
been
Team India?
persisting with them. I mean, one thing I really love about this Indian team is that they have a role clarity, which the team lacked in 2020. You had players who were performing well in IPL, directly getting the nod ahead and getting selected into the team, but there was no role clarity. You had a team where there was Shreyas Iyer, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Shikhar Dhawan playing the same sort of game, and that was actually hindering their progress. And I think this new approach where they have particular players for particular roles, like
Yeah.
there is, India did not have a Umran Malik previously. They had Deepak Chahar, they had Bhuvneshwar Kumar sort of fighting for the same position, and India had to rely heavily on their spinners in the middle overs. And once the Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal combination, the Kulcha combination once they stopped working, or once the Indian teams stopped supporting them or trusting them with the middle overs, I think India were in a bad spot. Because from one end, be it Chahal or Kuldeep Yadav, Chahal has played in the longer format. I mean, Kuldeep Yadav was not there for 2-3 years in between. So Chahal was holding one end, but India was struggling from the other end. They were using the part-time bowler. They were using Hardik Pandya. But right now they have that role clarity. If Hardik Pandya has to bowl, he comes in with the new ball in the T20I format. In the ODIs, he is brought in as the fifth bowling option. And I think Akshar Patel fitting in well with the team gives them a huge boost, especially with the bat, because India were, if you consider this Indian team, they do not bat very deep, because you have Akshar Patel at number 7, and then you have with Kuldeep Yadav coming in, probably you have Kuldeep Yadav at 8, but Kuldeep Yadav is not your number 8. I would say Kuldeep Yadav is a number 9, number 10 player for a team. And then you have the likes of Umran Malik, Mohammad Siraj, and Mohammad Shami, who are not very good with the bat. When Bumrah
But
comes in and
but then,
Shami,
that's a risk you have to take in order to have a better bowling lineup. But I think that's a risk worth
yeah,
taking
and,
as
and
well.
that is when your number 6 and number 7 becomes so important. India relies on their number 6 and number 7 dearly. Akshar Patel and Hardik Pandya are their key players leading to the World Cup. They have always been their key players. If you have a day where both Hardik Pandya and Akshar Patel, the fifth bowling option, have a bad day, I mean, India will go on to lose the game on 8 of 10 occasions.
Absolutely, and I hope that's not the case as we go ahead. Whenever Indian team loses a knockout match, captain and coach selectors answer Galti say mistake. I mean, yeah, I mean we can't do anything about it. Of course, these are factors which you're going to see, and we've been seeing for the longest period of time. I hope it changes as we move ahead and we see less of these kind of statements coming out from the team management. Shaurya says Sky for the ODI 11. Yeah, Shaurya, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to have Sky in the ODI 11 because, firstly, he's done it all. Now you've had him in the test. Now you've called him into the test squad as well. So, mix and matching formats is not a bad deal when it comes to white ball format. At least I still see a spot for Surya Kumar Yadav in the one-day team. I do not know how you're going to fit him in.
But where do you see it? Is my question. Where
In
do
my
you fit
person,
in
can I be
Surya
honest
Kumar
with
Yadav?
you? I see him play instead of Shreyas Iyer. Though I like Shreyas Iyer a lot,
But then
but
again,
but
you have that
let me make it
which
right.
you
Let me make it
had
simple,
for
right?
Mohammad Siraj, right? He was your leading wicket taker. Mohammad
Yeah,
Siraj was your
yeah.
leading wicket taker in
That's the whole
2021,
point, right? Uh,
2022.
see,
Yeah, and
when
Shreyas
it
Iyer
comes
was your
to
leading run scorer in
when it
2022. Yeah.
comes to Shreyas Iyer, there are weaknesses, as I rightly mentioned. I don't want this to be RCB versus KKR debate, but if you look at the top four, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, and if you include Shreyas Iyer to it, there is a clear one dimension in those top four, especially in a white ball format. You do not want that. Like as England has got a Liam Livingston, Australia has got a Marcus Stoinis or a Glenn Maxwell. We need that X factorism in a top four, and you need that player to come in and maybe change the game. Like on a tricky chase, if Surya Kumar Yadav comes in and plays a knock like he usually does in T20 cricket,
But
I'm
I mean,
pretty sure that
Shreyas Iyer has been doing that job for the team in the past. Whenever India
I
has
mean
been
he has
chasing
made
350,
he has been doing it, or else. This is another thought for me. Drop KL Rahul. Make Ishan Kishan bat in the 11. I know it's a harsh call. We've already advocated for KL Rahul, but I really want Surya Kumar Yadav in the 11. I know his stats says nothing about his one-day cricket. He's just averaging 32 after 14 matches. He's played one-day internationals, if I'm not wrong. It's not good enough at the end of the day.
see, the thing
But
with
the
Surya
fact,
Kumar Yadav is, I mean, there was one point where there was a fight between Shreyas Iyer, not in literal terms, but there was a competition between Shreyas Iyer and Surya Kumar Yadav for that number 4 position in the T20I format as well. Shreyas Iyer got his opportunity in I think it was the series against West Indies, where he
you know what,
scored
Tanmay, I really don't see Shreyas Iyer now making it to a T20 squad.
no.
Now from
I
the
mean, not
squad which
now.
are
I
already
mean,
announced.
last year at this point, I mean, if you talk about March 2022, Shreyas Iyer was in great was, I mean, the closest contention for that number 4 spot after Surya Kumar Yadav. But
I
Surya
mean,
Kumar Yadav
he
produced some,
is. At this
yeah.
point, he
But
has
then
sealed the
but then we
spot.
saw
There's no
Surya
doubt
Kumar
about it.
Yadav producing some superlative performances in the series against England, right from that 112 run knock against England in that losing cause. where Surya Kumar Yadav really excelled. Right from there has been no looking back. Surya Kumar Yadav has produced superlative performances one after another. In the meantime, he even got a couple of opportunities in the ODI format as well, where he was not able to excel. And Shreyas Iyer came in and he produced some superlative performances for Team India in the ODI format. When India were actually focusing on the T20I World Cup, there was a time when Shreyas Iyer and be it Sanju Samson at number 5 or Akshar Patel at number 7, saving the day for Team India in the ODI unit as well. Because you did
Yeah.
not have, there was Dhawan and Shubman Gill scoring some runs, but other than that, none of the other batters were really chipping in apart from Shreyas Iyer. So I think like Surya Kumar Yadav has cemented his place in the T20I format, I think Shreyas Iyer has done the same in the ODI format. So has KL Rahul. KL Rahul has produced some superlative performances. And I
But
think this is
you know
the
what's my only take about this? I totally understand your point, but in white ball format, you need a player who can come in and change the game, which I think KL Rahul can, which I think
maybe
Shreyas Iyer can. There's
I
no
think
denying
because
them,
we
but
will have
Surya
this
Kumar
debate.
Yadav
I
brings.
am quite sure we'll be having this debate after the World Cup, after the ODI World Cup. If India goes on to lose, I mean, then people will obviously, God forbid it happens, but if India goes on to lose in this World Cup, people are going to point fingers in especially in this aspect that they did not have a X factor player in their top 5. But that is where I want Ishan Kishan to come in. And I think Ishan Kishan coming in that opening slot with Rohit Sharma, I think there is enough depth and
I mean,
experience.
I think
A
we
mixture
already
of
have a question. We already have a comment on that, which says about having a left-hander in the top 4, and I totally agree with
this
it.
I agree. This
I
I completely agree
know
because Rishabh
KL
Pant.
Rahul has been phenomenal for you,
Yeah,
but I really want Ishan Kishan to keep the wicket and Shubman Gill. I know Shubman Gill's record also have been outstanding, right? But I really want, if you're playing KL Rahul at number 5, fair enough. But then I really want Ishan Kishan to open. You need at least one player who can really take the
India
game
would have
away from
had a
you on
choice
the
of
given day.
plenty if Rishabh Pant would have been fit. Because then they would have to decide in that middle order
But
slot
you
because
know what? You know
he will
what?
drop.
This particular call of communicating to KL Rahul that you're going to be the wicketkeeper for the World Cup was communicated way before Rishabh Pant's accident. So this particular build up for KL Rahul being the wicketkeeper started 2020, if you remember. Rishabh Pant was ousted out of the team,
Yeah, no,
but Rishabh
that I
Pant came back
understand.
pretty
But
well.
Rishabh Pant in the last ODI match that he played a match-winning knock in that decider against England. I
England,
mean,
yeah.
there is no way you drop a player after he.
I mean, great
Having
win
said that,
Rishabh Pant.
Ishan
I
Kishan
really
got
do.
dropped.
I think Rishabh Pant has really cracked the ODI format. He was doing
Yeah,
pretty well in that. I thought he really had only one bad series, and that was at New Zealand. There also, you can't really blame. Almost everybody had a bad series there. You went on to get Warlock there, but ultimately, if I have to talk about something, that I'll talk about how Rishabh Pant's impact has been for this team and what Rishabh Pant can do if he's set. Hence, I would have had Rishabh Pant ahead of even KL Rahul if he was my team, because KL Rahul is very good, but I'll put Rishabh Pant ahead of Surya Kumar Yadav and KL Rahul if he is fit for the World Cup, and if he can bat at
definitely.
number 5 for me, even number
And I
4
would
for me.
second that. I
It
think
doesn't
if
matter.
Rishabh Pant would have been fit, especially because he's a left-hander as well, I think he has cracked the code for the Test matches and ODIs as well. I think Rishabh Pant is a must-have player in your top
Yeah,
11 if fit. So I think
yeah.
his injury or probably not injury in terms of cricketing, the accident was very unfortunate, and I think it was a blessing in disguise for KL Rahul because now I mean he is in the front running for that wicket keeping slot, definitely of India's top pick in the ODI format for that wicket keeper slot, especially because Sanju Samson is now injured. So if Sanju Samson would have been fit, I think he's another player that could have probably fought for that number 5 spot.
Yeah.
But with him getting injured, I think right now I think it's KL Rahul and Ishan Kishan. If Ishan Kishan is able to provide some superlative performances once again, I mean he had a superlative performances in Bangladesh, but if he continues to match his performance, and it should not be a one match wonder like what we had for Karun Nair. It's unfortunate to call Karun Nair in one match wonder, but yeah, I mean that superlative performance to double century in ODIs is very rare. So a player scoring a double century and getting dropped is just goes on to show the quality of players that the team has. And I think it's fair to Shubman Gill to give him a try as well. But having said that, I mean, you definitely need a left-hander in your team. And with Rishabh Pant not being in the team, I think Ishan Kishan is a must-have in your team.
True. I mean, on that note, let's talk about the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Is it time that we bring up the squad for the Border Gavaskar Trophy first 2 tests? the most anticipated series of the year. A lot of good memories. I'm gonna pull up the squad. Just the tweet
I
from
mean,
the
it's
BCI.
it, it's team world number one versus world number two right now because
World
they
number
are
one versus
the
world number two. I think this holds a lot more prominence in world cricket as big as Ashes. For me, in the last decade or so, Border Gavaskar Trophy has become the biggest test match series. You have seen the competition all across both home and away. And to be talking about Border Gavaskar Trophy, this will be the last time in history that Border Gavaskar Trophy will be a 4 match series. And after this, it's going to be a 5 match series from here on. So a lot to talk about. We have a squad on the screen. It is Rohit Sharma captaining. KL Rahul is a vice captain. Then, of course, you have Shubman Gill, Pujara, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, Kora Bharat as your primary wicket keeper. Then Ishan Kishan as a wicket keeper who's included in the test squad. And, of course, you have Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja makes a comeback but subject to fitness. Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, Umesh Yadav, Jaidev Unadkat returns and Surya Kumar Yadav gets a call up into the test squad. How do you see the squad? Because it's been a squad which we did all expect a very similar squad coming out, but Ishant Kishan, a surprise call up. Surya Kumar Yadav, maybe one can say surprise call up, and the rest is almost the same, isn't it?
yeah, I think very surprising call. Surya Kumar Yadav especially is a very surprising call up because if you consider he was nowhere in the reckoning. Even Ishan Kishan, I understand with
Okay,
Rishabh Pant.
let's park the debate.
Yeah,
Sarfaraz Khan, been in form of his life, broke down every possible thing he can ever do, scores runs for lunch
none.
break for breakfast, lunch, and
Yeah,
dinner
yeah.
in domestic cricket, averages 80 in domestic cricket, scored runs for first class level, Irani Trophy, Duleep Trophy, whichever domestic format you put him in, played for India, he scored runs there. He's done every possible thing to possibly get a call up. But here you are saying that first class runs don't matter. Sarfraz, you still
I
have
mean, there
time.
is
We have
no
to
debate. There is no debate regarding this topic. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You should have Sarfaraz Khan in your team any day of the week, especially in your test setup, because India does not have a fixed number five or a number six, especially with Rishabh Pant going. With Rishabh Pant not being available for the series, I mean, yeah, KS Bharat is a very good pick. I think KS Bharat will get something that he deserves. He has been consistent in the domestic circuit as well. But Ishan Kishan ahead of Sarfaraz Khan and Surya Kumar Yadav ahead of Sarfaraz Khan is something that I can't understand. I think it's a huge surprise. Uh, there is a good point by Kapil regarding Sarfaraz. Shaw is also a good thing. I mean, Prithvi Shaw right
Rahane,
now,
I
I think.
think, is a little bit out of the reach now. I don't think Rahane is
Yeah,
making
yeah,
a comeback
Rahane. I mean,
anytime
yeah,
soon.
I was just about to say that Ajinkya Rahane right now. I think we can say that Ajinkya Rahane and Shikhar Dhawan, they are done with their test careers. I think they are not going to get a call up.
They're done with the Indian team careers, international careers, is what you mean.
Yeah, for international careers, I think they are done. Both Shikhar Dhawan and Rahane, unless Shikhar Dhawan goes on to have a superlative IPL. I mean, where he goes on to be the leading run scorer at a great strike rate. I think other than that, I don't think Shikhar Dhawan gets a call up in the ODI team. And Rahane, anyway, I think we have run out of Rahane. We were very close to losing Pujara as well, but I think consistent performances in the England going into England playing for Surrey, I think has helped him great deal, and he has come back, scored some great runs for Team India as well, got that century finally against Bangladesh. So I think it was a great comeback series for Pujara, not just the series against Bangladesh, but prior to that as well. He had some great performances. But Sarfaraz Khan, I don't understand. One player, I mean, he's a player, the only player that I can draw a comparison to Sarfaraz Khan is probably Kedar Jadhav. Kedar Jadhav in his prime was scoring runs for fun in domestic circuit. He was another player who was scoring thousands after thousands in the Ranji Trophy in every season. But then he was not getting picked for the Indian side, and that is something that I'm seeing for Sarfaraz Khan as well. I think the only reason that they can look beyond Sarfaraz Khan is probably his fitness is one
No,
thing.
I don't think so, bad. This is just an irrelevant thing. A person
And
scoring triple
I'm
hundred
just trying to come up with
and
a
double
reasoning because there is
hundreds,
no reason.
batting whole day, batting 2 days, you cannot complain about fitness there. And now you are just it's just unfair on him. But I really don't mind Surya Kumar Yadav's selection. One reason why, right? You need a
X
player
factor.
who can come in and make a difference. Like Rishabh Pant can take the game away from you. So
Exactly.
similarly
That is the
speaking,
only reason why I think they have gone with Ishan
but
Kishan
now,
ahead of
now the
other
question
wicketkeepers.
is, do you see Surya Kumar Yadav playing? Because Kona Bharat makes into the 11 regardless of what happens. Because Shrikar Bharat or Kona Shrikar Bharat's keeping skills is second to none in the country at this point. He's possibly your best glove
Definitely.
man. So he will bat at number 6 for you, and Shreyas Iyer will bat at number 5. And definitely that's one of the reasons why he's also included in the one-day squad for the New Zealand series. So you want to try him out in the international level prior to giving him that nod ahead. So he's going to definitely start there. Now, talking about that spot, are you ready to risk it to go with 4 ballers if you want to fit in Surya Kumar Yadav and maybe
No, no, no.
drop?
I think Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan are players that have been selected as a reserve or a player for. Ishan Kishan is definitely a reserve for Bharat, and I think Surya Kumar Yadav is a reserve for Shreyas Iyer. I think with the form that Shreyas Iyer has shown in ODIs and Test matches, I don't see Surya Kumar Yadav coming into the playing 11 and getting a chance in the playing 11 in the Test or the ODI side right now. Right now. I mean, yeah, Surya Kumar Yadav is in the form of his life. They can definitely try him, but where do you try him? Because I think the only place of concern for Team India right now was the Rishabh Pant slot. But if you want the best wicketkeeper in the country right now, you'll have to go to Bharat. So you'll have to decide if you want an X factor player, if you want Ishan Kishan in that team, or do you want the best wicketkeeper right now. So I think they'll go with
Or
Bharat.
are you ready to risk it to say that let's go with KL Rahul as a keeper and play Surya Kumar Yadav in the 11?
I mean, still, if you consider KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma opening the innings for the team, there is Pujara coming in at 3, Kohli coming in at 4. You will have to have Shreyas Iyer coming in at
Kapil,
5.
let me be
Bharat.
very honest. Let me answer this. I'm very shocked that Chetan Sharma is a selector again. I've sat on this very forum and I've criticized him left, right, and center because I really don't see any point of this man. He is selected one of the most bizarrest selection. He's been the most bizarrest chief selector in the last 1 decade. I've not seen a chief selector with
No, I
absolutely
mean
confused
not just
mindset.
Chetan Sharma. I think the previous selectors were not really good as well. I mean,
I mean,
this is
it's
a
just
problem that
awful. I mean,
India.
last previous selection committee was awful. They deserved a sacking completely. I know it was not a sacking; it was wrongful news which came out. Apparently, it was just not contract extension, and Chetan Sharma had 2 more years left in his career to go as a chief selector. So now he's going to be selector for 2 more years, which means 2 more World Cups. I do not know what's going to happen, but you're right, Kapil. If you had to give reward to a domestic performance, it's just bad. Sachin Tendulkar broke into the team with his domestic performance. Now, players like Prithvi Shaw, Sarfraz Khan, I do not know what else do they be doing now. I mean, what should you be doing? You have to play in IPL to get into the team India for test matches. It's bizarre. Priyank
And
Panchal,
exactly why? Because
Abhimanyu
I
Easwaran.
think
What about these lads?
even
They've
Prithvi
not been
Shaw
doing
had
any
a great
follow-up.
IPL as well. Prithvi Shaw's
To be very,
exclusion from the team
Sanjay
is
Mani,
very
to be very
surprising.
honest, to you, KL Rahul deserves to be dropped. To be very honest, if he's
From the
not going to
test side,
perform,
definitely.
if he's
See,
not going to perform
if
in
you
the
don't
Warren
talk about
Gavaskar Trophy, he
opening,
deserves to be
I would
dropped.
have gone with my opener for this series will be Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma because I think Shubman Gill has done a great job in the test circuit. I think Shubman Gill is a very good player for the test, especially for the test series because he has scored great runs in the domestic circuit as well. Shubman Gill was a player who was scoring runs in the domestic circuit. He was putting in a Sachin sort of a performance after the Under 19 World Cup because he came in the Ranji
Now
Trophy. He
this is
scored
very,
a
very
double
important.
century.
Now you're going to face Nathan Lyon threat, and I really want the player who can dominate Australia, who can play the short ball pretty well, and I really hope Shubman Gill is a player. And but even there, someone like Prithvi Shaw, who's done exceedingly well, who can be a game changer in Test match because Test match is also going towards that point where you need game changers even in Test matches. You saw it with the England team. You're seeing it with the Australian team as well. You need players who can
You were
come in
seeing it
and
with
take
the
the game
Indian team
away.
as well. I mean, Rishabh Pant had been the player of the year for me. Test
Yeah.
player of the year for
He's
me
been the
was
player of the
Rishabh Pant
year for
himself.
last 3 years. He's scored runs in the most
Yeah.
difficult situations. He's come and taken the game away.
And
And
I think
that's
India has struggled, especially in their top order. Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul has really struggled if they're playing away from home. Rohit Sharma has struggled away from home as well. Who are we kidding?
but
Rohit
Rohit Sharma
Sharma
has
has
still improved a lot. If I
yeah,
have to
he
give
has
that
improved a lot, but he has still struggled away from home. You won't consider a 40 run knock or a 35 run knock success in test matches,
and even from
especially
Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli hasn't really scored
yeah.
runs in
See,
test
Pujara
matches.
Kohli, they have not been in the best of forms either. I
Pujara has
mean,
at least
Kohli.
scored runs in the recent past. Bangladesh series, he
Let's
was
talk
very
about
good.
Kohli. Kohli has dropped his average from
Yeah,
55. His average batting average was close to 55 in 2019 end, towards 2019 end. He has dropped it from 55 to now 49 right now. He has dropped 6 points in 3 years. That is a
yeah.
huge cause of concern. He has been scoring at 2025, and also
I mean, that's
if
not
you
good enough.
see,
That's not good
he
enough.
has not
So it's
been
just
Kohli has
unfair.
not been like Kohli. We have seen Kohli getting into a shell, which is very surprising. Kohli, whenever he thinks that the pitch is not really helping the batters, it's not a very flat pitch. You will see Kohli take a lot of time to get going in Test matches, which is something
Yeah.
we never used to see. Kohli is a free
I mean,
flowing
that's not
batter.
a good thing because Kohli, I've really seen Kohli some of the best Virat Kohli's innings, and he's always dominated the ball to get out of that shell. That's something which has been missing from Virat
I
Kohli.
was
I know
I
he's been
was
able to do that in other
very
formats.
disappointed with the innings that he played against Bangladesh in the
Yeah,
last Test.
I was very disappointed as well on the last innings. I really thought he had an opportunity to go out there and take the game on. He did not really do that. Getting out of Taskir Ahmed, that edge was totally unnecessary to getting out of a fast ball on a rag turner. But
And
yeah, now Border
also the
Gavaskar
last one
Trophy.
dismissal against Mehdi Hassan, I think
I mean,
that was
to
unforgivable.
be very honest, Border Gavaskar Trophy is going to decide maybe future of a lot of players. It maybe including Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, a lot of other players as well. So for them, it is very important to perform here, and it's very important for India, as Kapil already has mentioned, that he wants to see India in the WTC final against possibly the same opposition. And I was just watching this documentary called The Test, the second season, uh, and it was released 3 4 days ago, and I really found it fascinating how Australian team under Patrick Cummins really believes that they can win from any position, and they're a very aggressive unit. And for them, the last hurdle is to win in India at this point. They already won Pakistan at the start of the last year. They drew in Sri Lanka. Now coming to India, it's going to be a challenge. They all understand it. But this Australian team is going to be a huge mountain of a task for them to climb. Because remember, for India, they would really need their batters to step up. Nathan Lyon, Ashton Agar, or for the liking, even likes of Josh Hazelwood, Patrick Cummins are not going to be an easy bowling attack to counter against because they are going to be up at you time and time again very consistently, and that's where you have to dominate. And that's where I really want to see someone like a Surya Kumar Yadav make a debut in Test matches because of one reason, right? You play KL Rahul as a wicket keeper, it gives you a lot of balance. I know it's a risk because KL Rahul can also drop catches for you, but Surya Kumar Yadav coming in at number 6 for you, taking the game away against Ashton Agar and maybe Nathan Lyon in one session can maybe give you victory. So that's what I'm possibly looking at.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this Border Gavaskar Trophy, if India has to win it, I was it was a bit soon for me to call Rishabh Pant as the player of the Indian team. I mean, Rishabh Pant was the best batter in the Indian unit for the last three years. But the player of the Indian unit in the last 3 years or the last 10 years in Test matches, especially in India, has been Ashwin. I mean, there is no one beyond Ashwin at this moment. I think Ashwin is the best all rounder in Test matches in India. I mean, if you have to consider his performances with the ball, with the bat, he has done it all. And I think Ashwin is going to be the most important player if India has to win against Australia in this Border Gavaskar Trophy. And I think he'll hold the key because coming into bat at number 8, especially if India hasn't put in a lot of runs, if India struggles on with the top order, if there is a collapse, I think Ashwin with the bat is a big point in the team because he's a tail ender. I mean, it's disrespectful to call Ashwin a tail ender, but the fact that he comes into bat at number 8, I mean, you would expect a player to come in and go after the bowling, but Ashwin is one of the more technical players. I mean, he's probably more technical than Rishabh Pant batting. While batting, you would say that
I
Ashwin
mean,
has a greater
Ashwin has
technique than
played
Rishabh Pant.
spin better than many of the Indian batters in the last 2 to 3 years,
Definitely.
and that's why I personally think Ashwin is going to hold a key both with the bat and with the ball for Team India. And I really want Ashwin to only focus on one format. I thought after the T20 World Cup, he really confused his mind. You saw it in the Bangladesh series. Ashwin
Yeah.
was very confused in terms of his rhythm, in terms of his landing, his pace, his angles, his variations took a hit after the T20 World Cup. You saw it. He was trying to ball
I mean,
very
he was
quick
trying.
in
He
the
was
Bangladesh
trying too
series.
much. Definitely, he was trying too much. I mean, every spinner loves to go to Bangladesh because we know the sort of pitches that we expect in Bangladesh. Every spinner, if you ask any spinner where do you want to go and play, they'll probably say Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, and then probably India will be third on that list. But
Yeah.
Bangladesh and Sri Lanka definitely tops that chart. So I think Ashwin was really excited and he was trying too much. He was trying a little bit extra to to have something from that pitch, because a lot of spinners, Taijul Islam was picking up a lot of wickets. Kuldeep Yadav came in the first test, picked up a lot of wickets. So I think some sort of pressure was building up on Ashwin, and Ashwin was trying too many things.
Now, if Ravindra Jadeja is not fit, do you see Kuldeep Yadav making a start in that 11? And if Ravindra Jadeja is fit, do you still see Kuldeep Yadav in that 11? Because you have two orthodox left arm spinners, and with Kuldeep Yadav and his form he's been in, he really does
Yeah, it
deserve
depends on the
a
pitch.
start in the
It,
lineup
it
as well.
actually depends on the pitch. But having said that, if you drop Kuldeep Yadav for a reason like getting in Jaydev Unadkat for a fairy tale sort of
Would you really
ending,
play three fast bowlers against Australia?
no, no. Exactly why I said I'll definitely, in Indian conditions, if we have the pitches like we used to have in Border Gavaskar Trophy, I think Mohammad Siraj and Mohammad Shami will suffice for now. I think they'll
Yeah.
be great. I mean, Mohammad Shami and Mohammad Siraj with the in the pace department, or probably you can even have a Umesh Yadav and Mohammad Siraj in the pace department, and you can have Kuldeep Yadav. If Jadeja is fit, Jadeja and Ashwin. If Jadeja is unfit, then Akshar Patel and Ashwin. I think this is a good enough team to give you
That's a very
the.
good one. And SS98 says that he wants to see Sky Ishan and Sundan Arshdeep in tomorrow's lineup. I don't think Virat Kohli will be dropped. I personally think it's gonna be. Uh, I have a feeling it's gonna be maybe KL Rahul who might be given that rest. Because he's also going to miss out on that New Zealand series. Maybe Sky will come into
Yeah.
the lineup, is what I feel, but I do not know who instead of who. Maybe Sky will come instead of Hardik. Ishan Kishan will come. Maybe Ishan Kishan might not play. I don't see Ishan Kishan play. Sundar will maybe come instead of Akshar, and Arshdeep instead of Mohammad Shami is what I feel. Sky India will
And
take the risk of.
If KL Rahul decides to go, I think Ishan Kishan can get a game as well.
Yeah, if KL Rahul decides to go, but I really see KL Rahul playing, and maybe Sky will come instead of Hardik, and India will give Hardik that rest. India do not want to over burn out Hardik in consequential matches at this point because
Hardik
Hardik is
Pandya is a
also.
player that India will definitely need in the World Cup, and India would need a Hardik Pandya who can come in and bowl 5 to 6 overs, not the Hardik Pandya that we got from 2022 to 2022. I mean, the Hardik Pandya that bowled rarely. I mean, we would need a Hardik Pandya who is fit enough to bowl 5 6 overs and then with the bat play that finishing role. So his
Let's
fitness
also
would
now bring
be.
in the New Zealand T20 squad because as we've been talking about Hardik Pandya, let's look at the team. Now, I think really that he is the captain for the T20 squad. Those are officially announced. It just looks like he's going to be captain in the 2024 World Cup. And this is the squad what we have for the T20 side. We have Hardik Pandya captain, Surya Kumar as a vice captain,
But I think we
Ishan
had a
Kishan as wicket-keeper.
very interesting statement from Rohit Sharma where he said that he is not done with the T20I format as well.
He said T20 format. He did not say
Yeah,
T20I. So I do not know what he's looking at, but it doesn't look like selectors are very keen to go into the seniors. They are looking at a transition. And I think
definitely.
Rahul Tripathi did a very good job. Whatever chance he got, he did a good job. Umran Malik has got a. Prithvi Shaw is that inclusion which I'm pretty elated about. How do you see Prithvi Shaw? And do you really think that he should get a start in the playing 11? For me, he's a
No
no-brainer.
brainer.
He's your
No brainer.
best
No brainer.
T20 player out there.
I mean,
Best
the
T20
only change
player.
that I want to see from the last T20I that India played is probably Prithvi Shaw coming in place of Shubman Gill. I think
Yeah,
Prithvi Shaw
absolutely.
and Ishan Kishan is a deadly duo, and I think that is the duo that I want to see in T20Is. And I
Yeah.
think Shubman Gill is a world class player, but Shubman Gill is more suited for the ODI format. And I would love to see Shubman Gill and Ishan Kishan open the batting for Team India like post the ODI World Cup. I think after the ODI World Cup is done, I think Rohit Sharma will call it quits in the ODI format as well. And we can have a combination where Shubman Gill and Ishan Kishan is opening for Team India.
Absolutely, yes, idea. You're spot on. Prithvi and Ishan to open is my opinion as well.
Yeah,
Guys, whoever have joined us, I request you to share this video with your friends and families so that we can bring you more of this content and we can get more of the reach as well. Yeah, but having said that, yeah, of course, yes, I did. Prithvi and Ishan to open against New Zealand is what we feel because Prithvi and Ishan have been the go-to pair. Um, I mean, it's not bad actually to keep it also Rishabh Pant in the mix. If Rishabh Pant gets back fit and fine, I'd like to see Rishabh Pant instead of Ishan Kishan to open with Prithvi Shaw. I think that's going to be a deadly duo as well. But Prithvi
definitely.
Shaw is a no-brainer for me. He's your number one opener in white ball format, regardless of wherever you play. Even red ball format, I feel he deserves a go. I still think he can come in and change the game in a session or two.
I think the problem with Prithvi Shaw is that he has actually run out of favors from the selection unit. I mean, he got some opportunity in the last Border Gavaskar Trophy, if you remember. He played that first test, and The problem
No,
is
you know
that
what, Panimal?
Ponting,
Back then he faced some technical issues,
yeah,
whether he
technical
was
issues.
ready to go and
I mean, the only thing that actually really played against him was the fact that Ponting, having coached Delhi Capitals, could exactly predict how he would get out, how he would get out, and that is not something that you would love as a player. I mean, it is very. I mean, he called it up. Ponting called it out on live television that he's going to get bowled through the gates, and that is exactly what happened. And I think the way he got out in that match, and he just fell out of favor. And you have players sometimes falling out of favor with the selection committee, and that is something which happened with Prithvi Shaw. So I would really love to see Prithvi Shaw back in action right now because he has produced some great performances in the domestic circuit, and he has been looking to work hard on the technical flaw as well. You rarely see Prithvi Shaw get out bowled the ball going between the bat and pad right now. So I think he has worked on his weaknesses and definitely deserves a go.
absolutely. Now that's the T20 squad which we had as well. Can we now move on to talking about Pakistan versus New Zealand, because I think we already saw a comment on Babar Azam's captaincy and there are rumors that he's going to be sacked. How do you see Pakistan's home season? I mean, I think it's the worst ever home season a team can have, and in subcontinent getting dominated by teams from Sena nations is just not a good result.
I mean, he has had no support from the other end when it comes to with the bat. When you talk about with the bat, the, first of all, let me be very honest. Pakistan, I'm not a fan of Pakistan pitches. I'm not a fan of Pakistan conditions. I mean, the fact that they did not have, you saw Ramiz Raja getting sacked in between the series. Ramiz Raja got sacked between the series. That just goes on to show the kind of turmoil in the Pakistan board right now. The PCB right now is facing a lot of turmoil. It's a very, very bad place right now. And having said that, I think Babar Azam is not a great captain. We have said this
I
in
mean,
our previous
you
tests as
didn't
well.
mention about Babar Azam not getting any support, but yesterday they went on to score 280. On any given day, 280 was good enough. But the
Yeah.
captaincy decisions, the drop catches, tactical calls, it was a complete disaster from Pakistan's end.
Because
You
when
could
you
have
honestly, when
controlled
you
what you
look at
had
the
in your
lineup,
hand.
we had called it. We had called it that Pakistan in the T20I format, they are a different team. Pakistan in ODIs and Pakistan in Test matches, a different outfit altogether. Because when it comes to these conditions in Test matches, especially, you have Imam performing for you. You have Imamul Haq performing for you, and you have Babar Azam performing for you. No other batter steps up in the Test side for Pakistan, and we have seen that unless you have a very flat track, the bowlers also they don't love bowling because you know Pakistan has a deadly bowling combination. They have one of the best pace bowling quartet in world cricket right now. But it's very important to know how to use your bowlers, something which Pakistan lacked in the ODI series. uh, and I think it's a mixture of everything. Babar Azam doing what he can with the bat, not getting support from the other end. In the last game,
Yeah.
obviously, Fakhar Zaman got 100. Mohammad Rizwan scored that 70 odd runs. But other than that, if you talk about the Pakistan season in general, the Test series in Pakistan, New Zealand coming to Pakistan, or probably Australia coming to Pakistan, no other player has actually supported Babar Azam with the bat. And then there has been a lot of misconducts in the field as well. I mean, they have been very sloppy in the field. They have dropped a lot of catches, and in I think even in the last series that New Zealand played against Pakistan in Pakistan, they won a very important test because of sloppy fielding, and Pakistan have fallen on the bad end of the spectrum. A key dropped catch in a key moment
I mean,
is
do you
all
think
that.
everything looks good because you have just what 8, 9 months to go for the World Cup, and at this point, maybe appointing Shan Masood as the captain. From whatever news we're getting, Shan Masood is going to be appointed captain in the Test and One Day format. So it's not going to be looking good because team atmosphere is going to change all of a sudden. Then you're going to
Yeah,
have Babar
definitely.
Azam
And,
as
and
part of
also,
the
Abel,
squad.
if you don't, just let's talk about the fact or the condition where they are not changing a captain. If they continue to persist with Babar Azam as their captain, and this sort of result continues, it will not do good to Babar Azam as
And
well.
how do you see the same ballers being rotated both in Test and all formats, which is not good because we blame India for a long time for that. But India, at least when it comes to the bowling unit in Test, And in T20s, it's a different bowling unit. But when it comes to Pakistan team, you're seeing the same T20 bowlers bowling in all formats, which is not the right way to go ahead in this modern day format, isn't it? Because you don't want the bowlers to really mix and match formats. Their ideology, their lengths, everything changes all of a sudden. Hence, they're facing the brunt of it. You saw how bad the fast bowling unit were in the test matches, and how poor the fast bowling unit, even in the one days when Naseem Shah performed out of his skin in the first one day, picked up 5 wickets. But even there, the fast bowlers in Pakistan really lack penetration in the last couple of ODIs.
Definitely, and if you talk about players like Nasim Shah, Mohammad Wasim, these are very new players in terms of the ODI format or the Test format. Nasim Shah, I think, played only his fifth game. I think Nasim Shah created a world record of picking up most wickets after 4 games. He had 15 wickets and then he added three more in the second ODI. So he has 18 wickets in 5 games, which is a commendable effort. I mean, picking up 18 wickets in 5 ODI games is a huge achievement. Having said that, you don't have consistency. I think two bowlers that I see Pakistan returning for a long time is Nasim Shah and Mohammad Wasim. I think Mohammad Wasim Jr. I think these are two bowlers which have shown promise. I am not very impressed by what I saw from Mohammad Hasnain. I think he has got plenty of opportunities for Pakistan right now. Not
And he's
very
still very
impressed.
young. He's very raw. I still think there's
Very
enough
young,
time for
very
him to
raw,
prove.
but I think there massive improvements have to be like he'll have to make improvements on the consistency front if he has to have results like Nasim Shah or Mohammad Wasim, because they have been getting results. Mohammad Wasim Jr. Has been picking up wickets for fun for Pakistan. Even we saw one or two videos that went viral where in the nets Babar Azam was getting done by a beautiful in swinger from Mohammad Wasim.
Yeah,
That was doing the rounds. I think that was a great delivery, and I think Mohammad Wasim throughout this season has looked the best bowler for Pakistan. No
absolutely. Yeah.
credit should go away from Haris Rauf. He has done a great job in the T20I format. But other than that, I think Pakistan have not looked at their best.
Harris Shroff in T20 format has been great, but Harris Shroff in other formats has been just a dull commodity at this point. Is my personal view on it. He still has got
Yeah,
time to improve. And Shahid
and
Shafri
I
for
think
me is an all format bowler for sure.
Harris Roth is your specialist. He is a T20 specialist. I think he was introduced. He made a name for himself from that Big Bash League. He was a T20I bowler. He is your specialist death bowler, and he did wonders for the Melbourne Stars. If I'm not wrong, in the BBL,
He did,
playing
yeah.
in the 2019-2020 season, he was one of their best bowlers, and he was one of the best bowlers for Pakistan in the World Cup T20I World Cup as well. Having said that, I think he will have to improve with the consistency front in ODIs. And Pakistan's pace bowling in general, we said this, that when it comes to T20Is, Pakistan are close to India in terms of their fast bowling lineup, or probably their batting also. I mean, India are superior on paper, but Pakistan is a team that comes very close to Team India in the T20I side, in T20I format at least. But when it comes to ODIs, I think they will have to make massive improvements in or
But
test
in
as well.
T20 format, Pakistan are a much better team because of their bowling. But in other formats, they have heaps to improve. And I really hope the new transition, whatever Pakistan are looking at, really helps them. Other one
And
positive from both
I'm
Test series
actually
and One Day was
surprised.
Aga Salman.
I think both the Sarfarazes are unlucky. Sarfaraz Khan for India, Sarfaraz Ahmed for Pakistan. I think he has again run out of favors from selectors. I think he has had a great domestic circuit. He has scored runs for fun in the Pakistan domestic circuit as well. He was given an opportunity in the Test series in the last game. He scored some crucial. He scored a half century, if I'm not wrong. And then
Yeah.
I think he should be brought back in the ODI format as well. Mohammad Rizwan is one of the greatest in the T20I format. But when it comes to test matches or the longer format, or even you can argue for the ODIs as well, I think Sarfaraz Ahmed would add value as a leader in the team. You can even look at Sarfaraz Ahmed as a leader in the team, because the transition that came in the Pakistan team. Talk about 2017, 2018. Nobody. Okay, 2017 they won the Champions Trophy. Talk about 2016, 2015. Nobody was taking Pakistan seriously. India were dominating Pakistan in ICC events. Pakistan were getting dominated wherever they were going, facing away from home. But then Sarfaraz Ahmed came in, brought a culture, and I think Babar Azam have been reaping the rewards of whatever hard work Sarfaraz Ahmed has put in the team. And I think the team, the composition, the core strength of the team, a lot of credit should go to Sarfaraz Ahmed. And I think he was a great leader. I don't think Babar Azam is a great leader. He got a ready-made team. He could not utilize it. and I think now they'll again be looking for a
And
transition
Babar Azam,
in the
we
players.
often say the best player in the team will not make the best captain, and it's proven very clear in terms of
Something which we saw
Pakistan
even
and
see Sachin
and for
Tendulkar
Babar Azam.
stepped out of captaincy when he realized that
Yeah,
it was not meant for him. I think one of the best results for Team India has been Sachin Tendulkar opting out of captaincy, because you could have had Tendulkar saying that, yeah, I'll take the captaincy, I'm the most experienced, most senior player in the team right now, but he handed it to Saurav Ganguly. And I think the transition in this transition in Team India started in the ODI format or in the T20 format. India started to be a team to fear for from that Saurav Ganguly era. He brought in this X factor element to the team. There was Yuvraj Singh, Harbhajan Singh brought in into the team, aggressive players who play that X factor sort of a game. They might fail for 4 games, but when they succeed, they are going to single-handedly win you the game. So I
yeah.
think that sort of decision, I think it's time Babar Azam makes that call. But the problem with Pakistan is they don't have a sort of Ganguly sort of a player. Whom do you appoint as captain? I don't think if you appoint Shan Masood as the captain in the ODI format, that is going to solve an issue, because Shan Masood is another player who is not a consistent run scorer for Pakistan, and we have seen that Pakistan have not been very tolerant on their players. You have 2 or 3 bad series, you are dropped from the team, and then you are not even in the reckoning for the top 15. So having Shan Masood as the captain is still questionable. If I were to
Yeah.
make a captain, and for me, if Mohammad Rizwan continues to play, if you continue to persist with Mohammad Rizwan in Test format and in the ODIs, I think Mohammad Rizwan is a better captaincy material. Or for that matter, even a Shahin Shah Afridi. I think
Yeah, I
Afridi
mean,
is a great
he
captaincy
he
material.
did a good job by leading his team to the PSL title. So
Yeah, Lahore
there are a lot
Qalandars.
of
Yeah, definitely.
candidates out there. I think it's up to Pakistan and Ajam Sethi to appoint the right one. And from whatever news we're getting, Shahid Afridi has quit as chief selector, if I'm not wrong, and it's
Yeah, I
very,
guess.
very, very. It has happened in a very quick succession of time. I know he was an interim one,
And
but still,
I think this is something which you'll see from Pakistan right now, because, as I said, the board is in it's a very bad state to be in that Pakistan board right now, because you have the head of the board getting sacked. Head of the board got sacked. The selection committee is changing. You have a turmoil in the captaincy unit as well. Babar Azam is not your captain, and definitely they are not producing results. When you have so many things going on in the backdrop, it's impossible to provide great results for the team.
I mean,
So I think,
miracles don't
yeah,
happen twice, right? In the World Cup as
yeah,
well, they were very lucky in terms of South Africa really making it a mess, then for them to qualify and then make it into the final. But otherwise, they had a very mediocre World Cup as well, and that's why I really want to see a lot of changes happening in Pakistan in terms of thought processes.
it was just
Test
that they
matches have
had the
been
best
extremely
bowling
poor.
unit in the World Cup. I mean, the pace quartet did an amazing job, and to back that, Shadab Khan was the best spinner in the T20 World Cup, hands
Are
down.
you surprised that Shadab Khan is not going to get run in the Test format, and they've gone with players like Abrar? Because I still think Shadab Khan can be a utility or a proper all round
But
material in
I
the
think
Test
that's a
format.
decision that he took, because Shadab Khan, like other players, is more interested in playing T20 leagues over the world. So you saw Shadab Khan was playing for Hobart Hurricanes in the Big
Yeah,
Bash League.
yeah.
He came back for the national duty, but he was playing the Big Bash League as well. So we have seen a lot of Pakistani players, bowlers in particular, playing different T20 leagues all across the world
And
to
Rizwan today played the BPL match. I mean, last night he was playing for Pakistan. Today he played the Bangladesh Premier League match. So,
yeah.
uh, s- so can you believe
Yeah,
it?
another league that nobody is talking about is the Bangladesh Premier League, but hopefully it is as successful. I mean, we
There's a
saw
lot of
an
cricket
incident
happening, but
where Shakib Al Hasan
let's
was once again
delve
losing his temper.
right into all the leaks which are happening. How do you
Yeah,
see ILT20 so far? Because a lot has happened over the last 3 to 4 days in ILT20 in terms of the start of it had. Of course, the first match was between between Dubai Capitals and the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, and Dubai Capitals emerged victorious. How do you see this league to be? Because it's still a very young league, still a long way to go, but do you think they can catch up? Because players are scattered at this point in terms of so many leagues happening across.
yeah. With league being T20 leagues being so successful, more and more countries sort of want to take this opportunity as to sort of generate some revenues for their board. And I think that has been the case. You have a Bangladesh Premier League, you have a BBL, you have the ILT20, South Africa T20 League, all clashing at the same time. And with league gaining prominence, with IPL gaining prominence, this is bound to happen. And I think players will have to be more.
I mean, if you
Uh,
look, there are some big players. I mean, both the leagues has one team who's gotten off a really good start. That is MI. MI franchise is really having a good time in terms of both the leagues. Today they
I'm
had
not
a
sure.
very good
I'm
match.
not sure whether they'll have a very successful start in the IPL. But so far, what we have seen is, other than IPL, they have been doing a great job in the auction table. Something went wrong in
Yeah.
the IPL, but other than that, they had great auctions. So
Yeah, I mean
it's not a
that's
surprise.
good for them. I mean today as well. When you talk about the MI Cape Town team, they've had a very. We did talk about them as the favorites to win the league because of the firepower they've had in their squad. Look at the team, right? They've Jofra Archer, Sam Curran. They've got Rashid Khan in a playing 11. That's a very strong. And Devol Burrows has been the icing on the cake for them. Him going out
Definitely.
there and
And even if you
dominating
talk about
bowlers.
the IL T20 side as well, they have likes of Mohammad Wasim, Andrew Fletcher, Nicholas Puran, Kyron Pollard, Najibullah Zadran, and Dwayne Bravo
Yeah, today
with
you
the bat. I
saw
think.
all these players step up. You saw Puran step up. You saw Pollard play a cameo. Even Bravo play a
And then you
cameo.
have a Trent Bolt, Imran Tahir, Fazal Faruqi, Zahur Khan in that bowling lineup. I mean, it's one of the best teams, no doubt. They have
It's a
done a great job in the auction table. And one player I'm really impressed is with Mohammad Wasim. I think he has held his own in this team, and he for UAE in general, Mohammad Wasim has been a class act. He was one of the players of the tournament for them in the World Cup as well, T20 World Cup as well, and I think he stepped up tonight as well. So he's one
yeah.
player to look out for, definitely, both with bat
Yeah,
and ball.
absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. How disappointed are you with the Johannesburg Super Kings because they got off to a very good start in the first match against Lucknow, not Lucknow, sorry, the Super Giants team. It's very tough for me to mix and match teams across franchises. Let me be very very clear on
Yeah.
that. But the Durban Super Giants, they got off to a very good start. They were 29 for 4 after 7 overs. From there to take the score to 190. Donovan Ferreira, we did speak about him before the start of SA20 as for the player to
And I
watch out
said
for.
Donovan Ferreira is one of the greatest buys but I hope that he gets a game in the IPL as well, because he's another of those talents like Devil Brevis and Tristan Stubbs who deserves a chance in the team and who is a X Factor player. And you saw what he did, both with bat and ball. He picked up a
After
wicket
that,
as well.
JSK is really tapered off, isn't it? Even the first match you saw, it was not the most convincing way to start off with. The next match got all up for 81. Today it got all up for 105. It's
A lot
just
has
been
to do
bad
with
time
Fab
for
du
JSK
Plessis'
team.
form. A lot has to do with Fab du Plessis' form. I think he was once again another player who was in the BBL. He was playing for Perth Scorchers, if I'm not wrong, and he did not have a very good BBL. He did not have a very good lead up to this South Africa T20 league, and he did not have the best of starts as well. And once you are struggling with the bat, it is very difficult to maintain a team. And I think that is something that is
That's what I'm
happening
very
for them.
scared about the RCB team as well because I really thought Faf du Plessis was a one season captain. You have to understand he's in 38, 39 now, and you can't keep him as a long term captain. I
Yeah.
thought it was only right for RCB to release him and clear out that 7 crores and maybe go for someone like a Mayank Agarwal. I thought he was your long term option. Or maybe even bring back Virat Kohli. I mean, Virat Kohli can come back to captain this team any day if you want him to. He's the vice captain of your RCB team, and you can play a Finn Allen in your team or Will Jacks in your team. So
Definitely.
in my personal opinion, this season I really want Faf du Plessis to be on the bench for RCB squad as well.
It's a tough call, and I don't think a player of Fab du Plessis' caliber will take that.
I mean, we
Into,
talk about caliber, but there's something called form. So
yeah,
caliber
definitely,
versus form, I
definitely.
always will
He'll,
take
he'll
form.
definitely have to improve on his form, because if the lead up to the IPL is something to believe on, he's not playing international cricket anymore, and he has been struggling in T20 leagues all across the world. Did not have a
Yeah.
great BBL. Came to South Africa, not having the best of T20 leagues over here as well. So I think he'll have to make some amends before getting that opportunity in that RCB. But dropping him from the playing 11 is a huge call, and I don't see RCB taking that decision anytime soon.
I mean, I don't think that'll happen, but it's just my personal opinion considering his form. And if his form improves in
But
IPL,
also
well
to
and
be
good.
fair to the Super Kings, Johannesburg Super Kings, that they did not have the best of a very easy opponent tonight. They were playing Mumbai Indians, And
Yeah, but they've not looked good. I mean, the kind of pitches they've gotten so far, it's been turners, and the team is not ready to counter that. So they wanted to play a very similar Chennai Super Kings kind of a fashion, playing on turners, but it's not worked well for them there. And also remember, they're going to miss out someone like Harry Brook, who has been their marquee signing for their team as well. So it's not been easy for them, but let's see how things go, because it's still
yeah.
a very young
And
league.
they have actually
Young
struggled
league.
with the bat. 29 for 4 in the first game. Then they got all out for 81 in the second one, and then once again all out for 105. So I think definitely, yeah, Fab Duplessis will have to step up in that top order with, and I think another player, Janeman Malan. I think if Malan will look to make a name for himself in the South African team, because he's a starter in the South African team in the ODI format. He had a great start to his career, scored that 170 odd runs, had a massive partnership early on. So I think if Janeman Malan will have to grow as a player, he'll have to be consistent in T20 leagues, especially the South Africa T20 league, and he's an important player in their team. I think Janeman Malan, Fab Duplessis at the top, and then you have Donovan Ferreira, Romario Shepherd in that middle order, number 6, number 7, to provide those finishing touches. So either of Janeman Malan or Fab Duplessis will have to go on and play the anchor's role throughout the innings, and that is
Yeah.
something that they have been lacking. They have been losing wickets in clusters, and they have had no momentum.
Yeah, yeah. But that's about it from us. I think we've discussed almost all the cricket which has been happening, except maybe some of the leagues. But that's a lot of cricket, anyways.
Yeah, for
So
Bangladesh Premier League, I think I was very interested to see Shakib Al Hasan once again after all the bans, after a 1 year ban for misbehavior, once again shouting for a white ball.
I
It
mean,
was
you
a very
can't,
interesting.
just Shakib doesn't think. I think to get into some sort of trouble wherever he is, whatever cricket he's playing, and once again, and I think it's picked by Kolkata Knight Riders once again. I'm
Yeah,
expecting
yeah,
it
yeah.
to
Picked
be
by
something
Kolkata
like
Knight
that.
Riders. See, Shakib Al Hasan is a knight. Shakib Al Hasan is a knight. He
He's
was a
right.
part
Yeah,
of
I
a
agree
team
with
that
you
won
there.
the 2012
I mean,
IPL,
there's a
2014
lot of
IPL.
Bangladesh fan base for Kolkata Knight Riders also because of Shakib Al Hasan, and now Lithon Das is
Definitely.
also part of that squad. So it's becoming like a Bangladesh, Kolkata, Bengali. It's nice. It's nice. I like that culture which has been built up there, and you get those fan bases coming across the border.
See, you
And
have Bangladesh players playing for KKR. You have Afghanistani players playing for Sunrisers Hyderabad. At least that was the trend till this IPL. Now Rashid Khan has gone. Now Mohammad Nabi is also not there, a part
yeah,
of that
yeah.
team.
So
So
yeah, it's very interesting in terms of that. But thank you for watching, guys. We've had a long live in terms of discussing almost all the cricketing action across the world. And now we'll come to an end with this. So do remember to check out our app once again. It's the link is in the bio. And do not forget to share this video, like it, and subscribe to our channel if you're new here. And share it with as many friends and family members as you can, so we can keep bringing all this exciting content in terms of cricket, football, and we'll also cover the Hockey World Cup, which is underway in India. So that's something which we have in plans as well. Hockey World Cup back to
great
back in
start,
India.
right?
Great
One
start,
two
2
nil
nil
against Spain. Yeah.
thing. So we'll try to cover it. It's a very interesting sport. A lot of people who are following it. India were dominating
And
that sport
also,
for the
I think
longest
we
period of
have
time.
the Under 19 Women's World Cup, the
Yeah, under
first
19
of
Women's
its
World Cup,
for the
India got
year.
off to a flyer. Shefali Verma scoring 16 ball 45. This league is too easy
It's
for her.
unfair to have Shefali Verma in the Under 19 setup right now. I mean, let's just talk about that. You
Yeah, I
can't
think
have
we will
Shefali
cover
Verma
it,
going
but
there.
I think it's a lot of cricket for today. I
Yeah,
think we have to stop right here. Also, people are going to watch it. But
yeah,
as you all know, the women's IPL is around the corner. The registration of franchises, confirmation of franchises, the auction. So we know that very, very, very soon. Whatever we're getting the reports is that except RCB and Lucknow Super Giants, other 8 franchises have submitted a bid for being a part of the IPL. So women's IPL. So let's see how it goes there, and we'll know by January 25th, if I'm not wrong, and we'll keep you updated with all these
yeah.
news. Take care, all of you, and see you all very soon. Bye bye.